Can your employer lie to you and get away with it? That's the question I will be addressing in this video. The short answer is yes. Your employer can lie and get away with it. But there are a few exceptions where an employer's lie is illegal. And by the end of this video, you'll understand when an employer's lie is illegal. So stick around. Nothing in this video is legal advice. However, if you live in Washington State and you think your employer broke the law when it lied to you, feel free to reach out to my firm. I represent workers in lawsuits against their employers, and I'll put the link to my website in the description below. The first illegal lie, and the one I see most often as an employment lawyer, occurs when an employer lies about why they fired a worker to hide their real reason, which was discriminatory. And that second part of the sentence is important though. Their real reason has to be discriminatory for the lie to be illegal. We call that kind of lie pretext in the law. And pretext refers to a fabricated reason that an employer uses to hide their real motivation. And so if their real motivation was illegal discrimination, then their pretextual lie is part of that illegal conduct. So that lie is illegal too. But pretext is complicated because of what's called the at-will employment doctrine. So let me briefly explain that. In the vast majority of states in the US, including Washington State, where I'm licensed to practice, employees work under what is called the at-will employment doctrine. That means that the employment relationship starts and ends at the will of the parties. It's a purely voluntary relationship on both sides. Either party has the right to terminate their employment relationship at any time for any reason with or without notice. So under the at-will doctrine, employers are free to fire workers for any reason under the sun, even a made-up reason. To put it bluntly, under the at-will doctrine, employers can lie about their reason for terminating you, as long as the lie is not covering up some illegal reason. So what are the illegal reasons? If you watch my channel at all, you'll already know the illegal reasons for termination, but I'll briefly go over them here to catch everyone else up. Under Washington law, along with the laws in most states, there are 4 main illegal reasons for terminating an employee. Those 4 reasons are as follows: discrimination, retaliation, violations of public policy, and breach of contract. Discrimination occurs when an employer fires a worker because of the worker's protected characteristics, like the worker's age, race, gender, or sex. Retaliation occurs when an employer fires a worker because the worker made a complaint about discrimination or harassment. Violations of public policy occur when a worker does some activity linked to public policy, like reporting safety issues or refusing to commit an illegal act, and the employer fires them for doing it. And breach of contract occurs when an employer fires a worker for a reason that breaches a contractual provision that the parties had agreed to. To understand these illegal reasons a little further, see my videos on discrimination, retaliation, and wrongful termination. I'll put links to those videos in the description below, and I'll link to them in the card up here. The next category of illegal lies is called false promises. And false promises can take many forms that are prohibited by law, from negligent misrepresentation to flat-out fraud. And I'm not going to go into too much detail in this video about these claims, but I'll briefly discuss the general idea. The essence of a false promise claim is that the employer told you a lie about some important piece of information that it knew was false, or at least should have known was false. The employer intended for you to rely on that information, and you did rely on it to your own detriment. Either you lost some money because you relied on the employer's lie, or you lost some employment security. Let's use an example. Say a prospective employer tells you to quit your current job to come work for them. And if you do it, the prospective employer is going to give you all sorts of amazing benefits. So you do it, and it turns out the prospective employer was lying the whole time. And now you're out of a job and you didn't get any of those amazing benefits that the prospective employer promised you. Well, that's a false promise, and it's an illegal lie. The final illegal lie that employers can tell is called defamation. And essentially, defamation occurs when an employer lies about you to a party outside of your organization, and the lie is so harmful that it actually hurts your reputation or ability to get a job. If the lie is in writing, that's called libel, and if it's verbal, that's called slander. But defamation is a really complicated claim. There are many exceptions to defamation. For instance, if the employer's statement is only an opinion, then it's not defamation. Or if there is any truth to the statement, that's also a complete defense to defamation. And whether or not the lie constitutes defamation will also depend on the subject matter of the statement. For instance, if the speaker makes the statement because they reasonably think it will prevent harm to someone else, then that's also probably not defamatory. So as you can see, defamation is really complicated, and you should definitely talk to a lawyer before you bring a claim of defamation. But in the employment context, defamation usually occurs like this. Say you are interviewing for a new job. Your prospective employer wants to get a reference from your former employer. And when they reach out to your former employer lies about you. They say a bunch of bad stuff that hurts your reputation and costs you this job. In that case, you might have a claim of defamation. But again, it's going to depend on what they said and how they said it. So there you go. While employers can lie about many things and get away with it, there are a few things that if they lie about, they're breaking the law. These illegal lies can come in the form of pretext when the employer is hiding discrimination. They can come in the form of false promises when an employer tells a lie that you depend on and you get hurt as a result. And finally, defamation, when an employer lies about you to someone outside of your organization and the lie hurts your reputation or job prospects. Now, if you're in Washington and you think your employer broke the law, feel free to contact my firm. The link to my website is in the description below. And if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button and share this video with other workers. The more we hold employers accountable for their wrongdoing, the more we protect other workers. That's all for me this week. See you next time.